visit us on the web at nilfisku.com. Nilfisk University is the cleaning equipment industry's most comprehensive web-based training and interactive learning resource. Your degree in success is just a click away at Nilfisk University.
Welcome to Nilfisk University, where excellence is obtained through active learning. Welcome to the Care and Use lesson for the SC1500 stand-on 20-inch scrubber. In this lesson, you will learn how to operate the machine and how to care for it, meaning I'll be covering some daily, weekly, and monthly maintenance activities that should be performed on the machine. This course is not intended to replace the operator's manual. Please read, understand, and follow all directions in the manual. Doing so will ensure years of productive use of the machine. After completing this course, the learner shall be able to describe 3 items that should be inspected before operating the machine, describe how to fill the machine with water and detergent, list the steps necessary to start the scrubbing function, identify each item on the control panel and describe what it does, list the 4 cleaning modes that are available with EcoFlex, list 4 ways the burst of power feature increases cleaning power, describe how to change the detergent ratio programmed into the machine, list 2 items to be inspected and cleaned before storing the machine, and list 3 maintenance items to be checked weekly. To really understand how to use the machine, let's imagine we are walking into a facility to use the machine for the day. When you approach the machine, it should look something like this. The machine will be plugged into a wall outlet to charge the batteries. The lid to the recovery tank would have been left open. The squeegee should be near the machine, as should the pad drivers or the brushes. Now let's get the machine ready to use for the day. First, unplug the charger and store the cord. While the lid is open, it's a good time to check the EcoFlex container. Does it have enough detergent in it? Is it the right detergent? Next, it would be a good idea to inspect the recovery tank, the ball flow cage, and the debris catch cage, and make sure they're all good to go. With this complete, the lid can now be shut. Now let's put on the squeegee and install the correct pads or brushes for the scrubbing that needs to be done. The squeegee simply clips onto 2 posts on the squeegee holder. Press down on the spring mechanism and slide it onto the post to lock it in place, and then connect the hose. For disc machines, attach the correct pad or use the correct brush. Now slide this under the machine centered on the brush skirt and lift it up in place. Slide the 3 lugs into the slots of the clutch plate and rotate towards the rear of the machine to lock it into place. Use the window on the deck to see the lugs and slots for alignment. Rev machines feature a fixed pad driver. Slide a white, red, or blue pad under the deck and lift it up and press it onto the harpoon face of the pad driver. Green, brown, or black, or maroon SPP pads should never be attached directly to the machine because it will damage the pad driver, causing it to fail. Attach a red pad and put these types of pads under the red pad. Now we can fill the machine with water using either the front fill port or the rear hose access port. The machine holds 12 gallons of water. There is a solution sight tube on the left rear corner of the machine that can be used to see how full the tank is when using the rear fill port. This is not a solution dump hose. There's a separate dedicated dump hose for this. Warm or hot water cleans better, but remember, the water temperature should never exceed 130 degrees Fahrenheit. If the EcoFlex system is used, just use plain water. If a wall mount system is going to be used, fill the machine from the system. If water and detergent is going to be mixed in the tank, manually, fill the machine 2/3 the way up with water, add detergent, and then fill the machine to the full level. Now the machine is ready for use. But before we transport to the area to be cleaned, let me first give you a general overview of the control panel. Starting in the upper right-hand corner, we have the maximum speed potentiometer. This controls the speed of the machine. Below that is the forward and reverse directional buttons. Next to that, we have the one-touch scrub button. This is used to both start and stop the scrubbing function. Next, you can see the burst of power button. Moving to the left, under the graphical display, you can see the scrub parameter adjustments logically arranged. On the far right is the detergent control button, then the pressure select button, and next to it the solution on-off and flow rate control button. And lastly, the vacuum on-off button and power level button. There's also an information button that, while in the scrub mode, toggles the screen to the battery gauge and hour meter screen, or also known as the transport screen. On the very far left is the emergency stop or electrical disconnect button. Now let me walk you through the graphical display. There are two modes for the display, transport mode and scrub mode. In transport mode, you will see the battery meter, the hour meter, and if there are any error codes present on the machine. In scrub mode, you will see the scrub parameters and their settings. In scrub mode, they'll either be empty boxes or full boxes. An empty box means the scrub parameter has an available position. A filled box indicates the setting that is in use. So for example, look at the solution setting. Here we can see the current setting is at medium, but one higher setting is available. You can also see the detergent is set at the strongest setting, as is the vacuum motor. You will also see the detergent ratio displayed the machine is operating at. In this example, 1:1, or 1 ounce per gallon. In the operator's compartment, there are two controls, a dead man switch, which stops the machine if no operator is present, and a go switch. The go switch is simply an on-off switch which makes the machine either stop or go. Now we can transport the machine to the area to be cleaned. Step on the platform and turn on the key. And let's first look at the graphical display to make sure the machine has enough battery power to scrub what's required. Turn the maximum speed potentiometer to a very slow speed. Remove the tip of your right foot from the go pedal and select either forward or reverse. Stepping on the go pedal will make the machine move in that direction selected. Adjust the speed potentiometer as required. There are a number of ways to stop the machine. You can lift your foot from the go pedal, step off the machine to activate the dead man switch, you can turn the speed potentiometer all the way to off, or you can depress the emergency stop on the dashboard. So now that we've transported the machine to the area to be cleaned, let's get scrubbing. The best practice is to have the machine in slight motion before activating the scrub system. While in motion, press the one-touch scrub button. This will cause the deck and squeegee to lower to the floor, the vac will turn on, and the brushes will begin to turn, and water will begin to flow. All scrub parameters from the previous session will be remembered, so whatever chemical, pressure, solution flow rate, and vacuum setting was used before, they'll be remembered and they will be engaged again. To pause scrubbing, simply lift your foot from the go pedal. All scrubbing functions will cease. The vacuum motor will stop after a slight delay to prevent dirty water from dripping back on the just clean floor. To resume scrubbing, press the go pedal again. To stop scrubbing completely, press the one-touch scrub button and all scrubbing functions will cease. Now let's look at each of the scrub parameter buttons to see exactly how each one functions. As you may know, EcoFlex has 4 distinct ways it delivers the flexibility you need to clean your facility. This can be shown using the detergent control button and burst of power. Cleaning with a burst of power has a dedicated button for this, so let's see how to clean with the other 3 modes first. The detergent button is used to cycle between chemical-free cleaning mode using no detergent, cleaning with a weak detergent strength, and cleaning with a strong detergent strength. One button is used to switch between each mode. It couldn't get much easier than this, I don't think. But now your question probably is, how do you set the weak detergent strength, and how do you set the strong detergent strength? Again, it's really easy. Start by pressing the detergent button to engage the strong detergent setting. You can tell when you're in the strong detergent setting because in the display you will see 2 bars of detergent, not 1 and not 0. Then press and hold this button for about 3 seconds until the LED blinks, and that indicates you are in the change mode. Now press this button repeatedly while looking at the graphical display. Here you will see the detergent strength change. Once the desired strong detergent ratio is displayed, leave the button alone for a few seconds and the strong detergent will now be locked into the machine. Now let's look at how to set the weak detergent ratio. It's really the same procedure. Press the detergent button until you see 1 detergent strength bar on the display representing the weak detergent ratio. Now press this button for 3 seconds and hold it until the LED starts to blink. Then repeatedly press the button to select the weak ratio and release it once it's shown on the display. One thing to note is once the strong ratio is selected, the only choices for the weak ratio will be equal to or less than the strong ratio. So let's say a detergent label says use 1 ounce per gallon for regular cleaning and 2 ounces per gallon for heavy cleaning. In this case, the strong ratio is set at 64:1, which is 2 ounces per gallon. And then you can set the weak ratio for 128:1, or 1 ounce per gallon. Now you can easily switch from chemical-free cleaning to regular cleaning to heavy-duty cleaning by using just one single button. Now let's look at the rest of the buttons. The next one to look at is the extra pressure button. This toggles between regular pressure and extra pressure. One bar will be lit for regular pressure, and 2 bars are lit when extra pressure is engaged. The next button is the solution control button. Starting from the off position with no bars filled in the graphical display, pressing it once will engage the low solution flow rate, and 1 bar will be shown. Pressing it again will change it to medium, and pressing it again will then change it to a high flow rate. And one last press will take it to the off position. This button simply toggles the flow rate from off to low to medium to high, and then to off again. The last scrub parameter button is the vacuum power button. Just like the solution button, this button simply toggles between vacuum off, quiet mode, or low vacuum power, and the vacuum at full power. The setting you are in is displayed in the graphical display. The Advanced SC1500 comes standard with the Advanced EcoFlex system. The EcoFlex system is a flexible cleaning solution that meets all of your customers' floor cleaning needs from green to clean. I've already talked about how with the EcoFlex system you can clean in a chemical-free mode whenever and wherever possible for the lowest total cost to clean with zero environmental impact from chemicals. It also has a ultra-low detergent ratio mode or a weak detergent mode that enhances the natural cleaning power of plain water while minimizing cleaning costs and environmental impact from chemicals. And EcoFlex gives you the flexibility to clean with detergent at full strength if that's required. The last mode to talk about is the Burst of Power mode. Burst of Power simplifies your cleaning challenges because at your fingertips with one button, the machine will deliver 60 seconds of powerful cleaning for your dirtiest areas. Pressing the button increases the solution flow rate to the next available level and brings the vacuum up to full power. It increases detergent to the strong detergent ratio and brings brush pressure to the maximum level. To clean a dirtier area, we all know it takes more water, more pressure, more detergent, and Burst of Power does just that. The last scrubbing function that I'll touch on is double scrubbing. Double scrubbing is where a very dirty area is scrubbed, but the water and detergent is left on the floor, and the floor is scrubbed back and forth for some period of time until it gets really clean. During this time, it's a good idea to have the squeegee off the floor. So to double scrub, swing the squeegee to the right-hand side of the machine. Now flip down the double scrub kickstand to lift the squeegee off the floor, and then slide the squeegee back into the machine and begin scrubbing. The front squeegee wheels will ride on the floor, but the blades won't be pushing solution around. When you're done, flip the kickstand back up and vacuum up all the dirty water. Now I think it's important to cover some of the best practices for scrubbing with the SC1500. When removing floor finish with the Rev version, make sure of the following. Never attach the maroon pad directly to the machine's fixed pad driver. This will damage the pad driver, causing replacement. Always attach a red pad to the machine first, then attach the maroon SPP pad to it. Always turn the solution to the lowest possible solution flow rate and pressure to the highest setting. Turn detergent off for the best cutting action on the floor. Then start slow, maybe about 50 feet per minute, and then speed up depending on the results you're looking for. The deck is offset on the right-hand side for edging. So always edge a room first going counterclockwise. Always scrub down ramps and transport up ramps. Always start and stop the scrubbing function with the machine in slight motion to help prevent donuts and floor damage. When the machine is brand new, try using the weakest detergent setting possible, maybe 400 to 1 for the first few weeks. If that works fine in your facility, great. If not, bump the detergent to the next strongest setting, maybe 300 to 1, and try that for a couple of weeks and see how that works. Eventually you arrive at the weakest setting that works for your application. Doing this will lower your overall cost to clean and is much better for the environment. Lastly, always aim for a 2-inch overlap when scrubbing. Eventually the solution tank will run dry and the recovery tank will become full. As we learned earlier, the machine has a ball float valve that protects the vacuum motor from ingesting water. Once the ball float valve activates, the vacuum motor will change to a higher pitch sound. When the recovery tank is full, transport the machine to a suitable location to empty it and refill the machine if required. After using the machine for a while, one of two things may happen. The battery may become depleted and the machine must be recharged. When this happens, the battery gauge will indicate the batteries need to be recharged and all scrubbing functions will cease. The machine stops scrubbing when the battery pack has become depleted, but the transport function does not. This means you will always have enough battery power to transport the machine to the area to empty the recovery tank and then back to the charging station. The other thing that may occur is that all the areas that need to be scrubbed are now scrubbed clean and the machine is ready to be put away until it's needed again. Just as we learned earlier about preparing the machine for scrubbing, we're now going to do the opposite procedure to prepare the machine for storage. The first thing to do is to empty the recovery tank and rinse it out thoroughly to remove any and all debris from the tank. While you're at it, rinse off the ball flow cage and make sure it's clean of any debris. Then inspect the debris catch cage. Now you can remove and rinse the squeegee and inspect it to make sure the blades are not ripped or torn. If they need to be changed or replaced, let's do that now. Remove the brush or pad and rinse them off and make sure all the larger debris that may be present is now removed. Inspect the pad or brush to see if the pads need to be changed or flipped over, and check to see if the brushes need to be replaced. If they do, it's a good idea to do that now. Then you can set them aside to let them dry. Now you can plug in the battery pack into the charger and charge the batteries for the next person who needs to use it. It's also a good idea to take a wet rag and clean off the exterior of the machine. Besides the maintenance that's done on the machine on a daily basis, there's also maintenance required periodically. Weekly, one should check the water level in each battery cell and add distilled water as needed. The machine should not be charged if the plates are not underwater. Before charging, inspect the cells and make sure none of the plates are exposed. If they are, then add just enough water to cover the plates, but do not fill the cell all the way until the machine is fully charged. If the machine is fully charged, then add water so it just touches the bottom of the fill tube in each cell. Do not fill the cell to the very top of the battery. Clean the solution filter. Clean the foam filter for the vacuum exhaust, which is located on the underside of the vacuum motor under the recovery tank. And purge the EcoFlux system with warm water. Monthly, the battery pack should be equalized. Equalizing the batteries ensures each cell is at its maximum charge potential for maximum runtime. This is done by fully charging the machine and then unplugging it. After a minute or so, plug the machine back in to charge it again, and repeat this procedure one more time. After a year of use, the carbon brushes in the vacuum motor should be inspected for wear, and at the same time, inspect the carbon brushes on the scrub motors to see if they need to be replaced. Refer to the operator's manual or an authorized advanced service center on carbon brush replacement. Now let's review the course outcomes and make sure all the points are understood. Can you now describe 3 items that should be inspected before operating the machine? Can you describe how to fill the machine with water and detergent? And list the steps necessary to start the scrubbing function. Identify each item on the control panel and describe what it does. List the 4 cleaning modes of EcoFlux. List the ways the burst of power feature increases cleaning power. Be able to change the detergent ratios on the machine. You should now be able to list 2 items to be inspected and cleaned before storing the machine, and list 3 items to be checked weekly in terms of maintenance.